The family is the bedrock and lifeline of any society. It is the single most important influence in a child's life. On Family World with Paula, together with credible experts.
There's a thin line between respect and fear. I don't want my children to be afraid of me.
So when you don't respect children, three things will happen. One, they will respect you.
We will be exploring and discussing the many different aspects and issues bordering on the family, ranging from conception, motherhood, fatherhood, parenting, relationships to marriage.
Many people are not really ready for marriage.
We will be celebrating men and women who have survived one family mishap or the other and have them tell their inspiring story. This is the show for everyone who came out from a family structure, already owns a family, or is hoping to start one someday. Join us in this enlightening, informative, entertaining, and inspiring show as we take on interesting family topics, no holds barred.
So, for me, just rounding up my side, talking with them about all of those things and what the technical term I use for it is, and it's a very important aspect of what our parents did with us that was missing. Giving your children a defense for truth. So it doesn't end at barking out the orders or even going the extra step of showing the example. It's now, if your child lives this way and enters school and respects elders and doesn't talk back and doesn't play tricks on the teacher and all that stuff, and the classmates go, "What's up with you?" The response from that child in that conversation, you have to have provided that response. That is the defense for truth, the defense for your life choice. So a lot of parents back out the instructions without telling the children
Why?
So I think that's one other thing we're doing now. So that we're having the conversation and then living the life and then giving them the whole conversation, not just the orders.
Yeah,
I think that's one major difference.
That's enriching, and that's empowering. Yes.
I think my wife perceives me as a little bit of a maverick because one thing my father didn't do was to let us be. I don't mean in a negative sense, but for example now, I encourage my children that it's healthy to be different. You don't necessarily have, so everyone's viewpoint is B. And your viewpoint is A. Never apologize for sharing your view as A. Even if it means you're swimming against the tide. Do so with respect for other people's viewpoint.
Exactly.
By all means, share your viewpoint and celebrate difference.
Yes.
The other day, I rang my lawyer and he said he was in America on the way back to Nigeria. He also just graduated a master's in America in philosophy. And of course, I cheered him on. But then in the past, studying philosophy wasn't the norm. We're almost forced or compelled to do the major professions. Medicine, accountancy, law, engineering. But I think it's good that you identify your children's bend or leaning or strength. And you as a father, you encourage that. I'm not so much concerned about what Derek's daughter is doing as much as what my daughter has a passion and a conviction for. Because when you lead and guide the children towards their passion, they will excel at it. It could be videography. Let them be the best video they can ever be. It could be music. Let them be the best musician they can ever be. It could be combining. The other day, I think someone gave a talk and she was saying that she studied French and accounting or something because she loved accounting and also didn't want to dispose of the French. So if you can blend, let them blend. But the idea is that you identify what your children's interests are and you fan their passion to flames. That's what I believe we should do.
That's great. That's profound. Do you have anything to add to that?
That was really good.
Okay. So we live in a very cultural environment. And over the time, culture is also changing, but some are still very, some people are still very rooted, entrenched in their culture. So in your own opinion, what cultural beliefs that concerns raising children that you think should be ditched?
I think that the idea that a child should be seen and not heard. This idea that even when a child shares an opinion, they need to always agree with you. This whole idea that woman's education is the kitchen. I don't believe that.
A woman's place is in the kitchen.
Pardon?
A woman's place
in the kitchen. Or what
the bedroom.
Well learned is on the bedroom. I don't believe that. Also the idea.
That's the official term.
Oh my goodness.
The idea also that yes, of course, the man's there of the family. Scripture is not in dispute. But at the same time, I also appreciate the fact that your wife has a lot to contribute to the marriage, to the relationship. Two is the better than one. So a man who believes he's a mini god, of course, sees things from his own perspective. He has his own voice and responds to his own voice without actually consulting his wife. Those two are his own peril, because there's some things my wife definitely brings. A degree of my success I attribute mainly to my wife.
Awesome.
Because there's some things that I would have done wrong, or I would have been drilled if it wasn't my wife's objectivity. So God help me if it was a case of me saying I'm the man, I know I have all the ansers, and I would have gone astray.
And get your ego flamed up.
Indeed.
Yes.
We have to come.
Well,
that's
we'll have to come to that shortly. Yes. So, what do you think?
Whoa, a cultural practice
should be ditched.
This is just talking about children in general, or fatherhood in particular?
Fatherhood and children. A mixture of both.
Well, I think I would still throw Kunle in that space of saying. When they say children should be seen and not heard, that whole thing needs to be thrown out the window, and not thrown out the window, but rather replaced with the right approach. So children should be respected and valued and trained from a young age to understand their worth. And I tell people that the body of a child might be infant, but their spirit is eternal. So the child you mock today is the adult that you will talk to tomorrow about helping you shoulder some of your domestic costs when you're in your 70s or 80s. God forbid. So if you didn't respect him then, he's going to have to be walking in extreme graciousness to listen to that conversation when you are using a walking stick. So I think that leads me into my second stereotype, which was very unhealthy, that Kunle also mentioned, the concept of the father as God. That's like basically abusing authority, where we call such men the generals, who come in and they bark the orders. Everybody else in the house,
alpha male.
Yeah, the alpha male. So they bark out the orders without consideration. Consider everyone else less intelligent than they are. They're not open. Consultation is not, and later on in life they get abandoned. And we know enough people in our times who, after they treated their wives that way, treated their children that way, when they're now hobbling along, they're hobbling along alone. So I think that approach to parenting and to leading a family is definitely misguided. It's imbalanced and it's wrong. Then the other thing, it's still in that same space. Talking but not doing. Painting an unreal picture. And parents do this a lot, even till today. This one should be thrown away, because this is what parents do. They tell their children things that they never really did, and tell them to aspire to those things.
That's a lie.
When I was in school, I came first in all my subjects. You must come first.
Okay.
You must be top.
You're shocking me right now. Because when I hear parents say that, I think that they meant it.
It's not true. It's not often true. They express their own life story in superlatives, so that the children.
So they are actually lying to their children.
Yes,
that's what they're doing.
It's a false bid to be encouraging or to challenge the child. They say, here's the thing: it's not impossible. In some cases, there are actually people who did come first.
His father's were academic. My dad was academic.
Yes, so they really excelled in school. But this is the funny thing, and I say it with all due humility. We have a lot of very successful men in society. No, they came first. In society, they succeeded. They built empires, but they somehow did not learn how to train other people. They did not develop the capacity of their wives and of their children. So you have built an empire with GMs across the world and everything, but in terms of actually depositing in people and building capacity, you failed. Because after that man dies, that company generally tends to dissipate. Same thing he's done in the business world, though right now we're still celebrating him, he has done at home. So his wife is just waiting for the man and his wahala to go. And then the kids, same thing, because he has just been full of his excellence and never transferred that skill set, that ability, that capacity to his children. So it's a wrong approach to leadership. It's a wrong way to lead. Leadership can be bad. It can provide bad leadership. So I think in this day and age, it would be one thing that we want to stay away from. Being unreal and incomplete. I call it a lack of integrity. When people say integrity, they tend to think of lying and telling the truth. Well, I think of it in terms of painting the same picture, the true picture. So, okay, so you were excellent, great. Okay, so can you transfer that what your dad did to you that brought you to excellence? Can you invest that time in your children, or are you sitting around outsourcing everything to everybody else you can while you chase bigger
the Benjamins,
the Benjamins, and then you come back and you shout at the kids for not being excellent? I think at the end of the day, that picture you're providing for that child is a hollow picture. They look at it and they're like, this is fake. And this comes across from business. It also happens in spirituality.
Yes.
And the father is all spiritual and is all about God and passion and everything. And the picture he's painting for his family is an incomplete picture. I tell you a quick story. This man spread the gospel in the northern part of Nigeria, built many churches for a particular denomination. When he was done, his eldest child came home and leveled the church he built in their premises and built a solid marble edifice to a different faith, and now told all her siblings to convert to that faith, otherwise they will be out of their inheritance. So basically he had been a success in his faith, but in his representation of his faith to his family, he was a massive failure, such that the children said, you know what, you and your faith, you are unreal, you're uncaring. I wouldn't want to follow a faith that is like this. So once he passed, she just packed everything and threw it in the bin.
You know, you see, it is so easy for fathers, also mothers, but particularly fathers, to fall into that trap. And it's bringing us back again to the point of not leading by example. And you expect a child to turn out to be something, but you don't show the child how. You talk to the child, you tell the child what you expect of the child, but you forget that the child is looking up to you for guidance, for direction. And you don't show the child how only by talking to the child. You show the child how by doing it, working with the child, getting to that level of the child, and talking to the child in the language that he understands. And it is not a one-off thing. It is a continuous thing. It's day in, day out. You have to be consistent with your rules. You have to be consistent with your modeling good behavior and good character to them, you know.
Let me just chip in. One of the things we teach, we share a lot with parents when we do parenting classes is the concept of being goal-oriented rather than time-focused. The aim is to transfer knowledge to the child. And as long as you are focused on the aim, you will achieve the aim. But if you're focused on a deadline, you might frustrate your goal. Because you're like, in 3 months, you know those books? In 0 to 1 month, you should be able to, might be able to, and at 0 to 3 or 3 to 6, and all those milestones. When we use those things without due consideration for the actual state of the child, the actual process, then we lose the results we hope to get. I put it to people this way: work with the children that you have, not the ones you fantasize about.
That's profound. It's true. And that's what a lot of fathers do. Yes.
So they come. That's why they come back and they tell you, why can't you be like this person or that person? Because in their minds, they're fantasizing that my children should be good. I was good at math. I was great at this. So my children, it's.
But they also forget that those children that they want their children to be like, what the parents were involved, have invested, invested the time.
I think, I was in the audience where Chef Nagbadi was giving a talk. He went to the same secondary school, and he was saying that when he was in St. Gregory's College, Lagos, he actually wasn't the best student in St. Gregory's College. In fact, he knew quite a few of his friends who were much better than he was. So, but when he realized he wasn't as good as those students were, but one thing he applied and compensated for was effort and consistency. So I wasn't very good at maths, but guess what? I'll spend more time doing maths. I was very good at this, but I'll spend more time. So he said over time, I mean, it didn't come naturally for him, but because it gave more time and more effort to it. And one other thing I think you said, I think I want to buttress a little bit more if I can, is oftentimes, even as fathers, as parents, we talk a lot about our successes, not about our failures. Well, I actually think that it's just part of life. We love our children, we really cuddle them, but sometime or another they'll make mistakes, they'll blow it. You'll be human if you don't blow it. I've blown it many a time, but I'm still standing. So I think it's in a sense unfair to misinform our children.
Precisely.
And tell them that life is a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park. And there are times when you fall, you trip, you get up and keep on walking. So I think it's important as parents that we emphasize our successes, our failures, what we've done right, what we haven't done so right. I think that's very important. That's itself is a fact of life.
Awesome. I'm very happy that we're having this conversation, and other people need to hear this to make that change in their lives. So what advice, what's your last word for parents, for other fathers particularly? What's your last word? What would you say to fathers?
I would say probably make integrity your watchword. Let it be that you have a right foundation that you understand fully. A picture of what it means or who you want your children to become, or what the proper person should be, and work from that picture, and let your life be patterned after that picture. And as you walk towards that picture, hold your children by the arm in a close lock and walk towards that picture. That's why they call it training children. So a train is only a train because there's a motor head connected to the carriage. If you're not connected and going through the same experiences, and they're seeing you going through the same experiences, then it doesn't fit to be, it's no longer fit to be called training. So my advice to parents today is get a good picture, a sound picture of what a balanced person is supposed to be, and start heading in that direction yourself, and be transparent so your children can see that picture through you, and see you as you struggle towards it. There are many aspects to it, but the bottom line is that integrity. That when your children look through what you say, what you do, how you handle the high points and the low points and everything, there is that consistent image showing through all of it. And this is not about a religion or a faith, but it's just about saying what you are. I think there's a group that has that slogan, we say what we do and we do what we say. That's integrity for me. Having a clear picture, heading towards it, take your children with you and let them see you, the real you, walking towards it, and I think you'll be fine.
Great. And then what would it be for you?
My last words, advice to parents. That we're mere custodians of our children, and we don't own them. And I think in terms of an empty glass and a jug, if you want to fill that child, so it's an empty glass with water, you fill that child with a sense of respect, a sense of like you're important, a sense of that what you say matters. So whatever we don't knowingly or unknowingly feel with our child is what we get out of that child. So when a child is insecure, think about what you feel with the child with. If that child is self-assured, think in terms of what you feel with that child with. If that child lacks a sense of confidence, think about what you feel that child with. So I'll just say to parents, be mindful of our words, be mindful of our actions, be real. Because we want to raise our children, we're not just intelligent, we're all real, all confident in their own skin. That's my best advice for parents.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is awesome. This has been so profound and so real, and so I'm thankful that you're able to make it here today. And we'll keep talking. You never know whose life will be affected and be positively impacted by what you have said here today. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for watching. You have heard from Derek Wanfor and Kule Daniel. Parenting has evolved. Fatherhood has evolved. I'm quite impressed by these fathers, blowing my mind away. And these are the kind of fathers that we should aspire to be, and even surpass the good works that they are doing and impacting their children's lives. So I remain Paula, and this is Family World with Paula. Till we meet next time, it's goodbye and God bless. If you enjoyed our show, find us and connect with us on social media. We would love to hear from you. Our social media handles are on your screen.